Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. Okay, so we are going to be talking about this issue with Mercedes Benzes. If you guys have a Benz and you guys have this issue where little message pops up that says shift to park, leave engine running. Had that issue come up while I was driving and got worried a little, but we're going to go through reasons why it occurs and how you can fix that issue. All right, guys. Now, a lot of times this error pops up out of nowhere. All right. It's not like you had any kind of previous issues or whatever. But it just pops up while you're driving. So here's the deal with this. There is a good chance that you guys could have a faulty voltage converter. In simple terms, that is your auxiliary battery. All right, that is the most common issue that would cause this problem. All right, it's a faulty voltage converter, which is the auxiliary battery. So basically, the first step that you would do to fix the little message, to get that little message off and to fix the problem, would be to replace the auxiliary battery converter. So that's the first thing you would do. But if that doesn't solve the issue and you still have that message on your dash, all right, let's go to the other things that could cause this issue. Okay, the other things that could cause this issue would be if you guys left the lights on, or there's an excessive usage of accessories. So if you guys left the lights on the car without the engine running for a while, you just left it on for whatever reason, went out shopping or eating and you left the lights on by mistake, it could cause that issue. Or if you guys use if you guys listen to music too long and driving short distances or something like that, but for the most part, if you guys left the lights on without the engine running, that could cause that issue. The third thing that could cause this issue would be if you guys had a parasitic train, which could pretty much run down your auxiliary battery or your battery or your batteries. That could cause that issue. So pretty much what happens is you might have, like, I don't know, internal lights, cabin lights or whatever, that's left on for what, you know, there could be a short in your electrical system, you know, and a lot of times these parasitic drains occur, you know, when your car is totally off, you're taking the key out and you pretty much park it overnight, but whatever it is that's drawing power from the auxiliary battery would drain the battery to a point where it needs to be charged up, but you know, it'll show up as an issue in the electrical system of your vehicle. Now, another thing that could cause it would be if you guys have an alternator that is defective. All right, maybe the alternator, it's possible that it's not putting out the amount of voltage that would need to charge up the battery and to run your vehicle. It might put out enough voltage to run your car, to drive it, but it's not putting out enough voltage to do that and to charge your batteries. And over time, what happens is, if your battery is being charged up just a little bit, just enough to start your car, or just enough to get your car going from point A to point B, but whatever you have on in the car, whether it be, your radio, blower motor, whatever it is that you're running, it's just eating so much current from your battery that your battery is always at a lower. It's not topped off, or it's nowhere close to being topped off. That could cause that message to pop up. So obviously, as you guys can tell, all these things are pretty much associated with the battery on your Benz. So obviously, if it's associated with your battery in your Benz, you might want to check your terminals. It could be that your terminals are loose, or maybe they're corroded. So you want to make sure that the terminals on your battery are not loose or corroded, and that it is able to take the charge directly from the alternator. It happens a lot where if the terminals are corroded, there's only a certain amount of voltage that your batteries can charge that. So obviously, in this situation, it's a battery issue. All right, it means that your battery is either not charging correctly, or there is something pulling so much charge from the battery that it's not able to charge fully. All right, it could be various things, where if you're driving, to sum it all up, if you're driving the car and for whatever reason, your battery is supposed to charge at a certain rate, and for the most part, it's supposed to be topped off, because the alternator is charging the car while your car is running. It tops it off at some point. For the most part, your battery is always supposed to be topped off by the alternator after maybe like 30 minutes or an hour of driving. Maybe even less than that, depending on at what charge your battery is. So basically, normally when it's topped off, the battery is topped off, it's around 12.6 volts. It's supposed to be charging, when it's charging with the alternator running, it's charging at 14 above. Let me see, it's charging above 14, 14.2, 14.3, sometimes a little bit lower. Sometimes, depending on what you have on, it's 13.6, 13.7, all right? So obviously, when that message comes on, what happens is, it's your battery is not being charged, or it's not being charged to the point where it could top off. So maybe theoretically it could be charging at like 13.2, 13.0. One of those voltages where it's enough to run the car, it's enough to run your vehicle, but unfortunately, it's just not enough to top off the battery, and your system is reading that the battery is it's not being topped off. Okay, it's probably at a certain level where it's reading that there's a problem with the battery. It's not being charged. It's not being charged at the right rate, etc., etc. But in these circumstances, you guys will probably want to know, like, can you drive with this message? And yes, the answer is yes, you can drive. You can drive this message, but you're going to have to fix the problem, because obviously, if you guys still have that message, it's the train. What happens is, it's a battery issue, it's a charging issue, it's an electrical issue. So if your battery goes below a certain level and you keep on driving like that and you keep on using it, obviously it's going to damage your battery. It's not going to damage, it's not going to damage any of the internal parts unless you have a short. If you have a short somewhere, obviously, you're going to have to try to find a short, because it's draining power from the battery. and you're gonna have to replace your battery real soon. You know, even if you get a new battery, if you keep on having this situation happen, you're gonna have to you're gonna run into this situation where you're gonna keep on replacing the battery because the battery is gonna get damaged because it's not being charged up the way that it's supposed to. See, so that's the situation with this. But you can actually drive it. You can drive it as long as you can turn the car on. You can drive it. Problem is, you know, there might be a chance that if you know it's the alternator is charging up the car enough for you to drive it, for you to turn it on. But at some point, if you park it, turn the car off, sometimes you turn it on, it won't turn on anymore, probably because the battery is too low or dead. But if you're going to drive the car like that, probably should keep, obviously you should fix the issue. But if you're going to drive the car around like that until you can get it fixed, probably should buy like a booster pack. All right, buy a booster pack, you will be able to, unless the alternator just absolutely dies out on you, you should be able to just pop the car back on and drive it. Could it damage your car? The only thing that could damage certain portions of your vehicle, it would be like a mechanical thing. I mean, it could be like an electrical thing if there is a shortage. Like if you have a short, in the system, it'll damage whatever it is that's causing that short. Or maybe you might have damaged it already, but you're gonna fix that issue. Mechanically, etc., it's not gonna do anything mechanically as far as harming your engine while you're driving it that way. But you don't want to keep that short going because you know your car, especially a Benz, is gonna have a lot of electrical sensors. It's gonna have a lot of electrical components. Probably one of the cars with like a lot of, you know, the most sensors, electrically. There's just a lot of electronics in the car. So if you keep on driving like that, and I'm talking about if you have a short that's causing this problem, all right? It might not be a short, but if you have a short that's causing this problem, you want to try to figure out if it is the short so you can fix it. If it's not the short, if it's the alternator, I mean, you don't want to drive an alternator that's putting out not enough current to charge up your stuff, because at some point you're going to get stranded because, you know, if it's not charging up your battery correctly, there's a good chance that at some point it's just not going to charge up your battery at all, and then you're going to get stranded. If it's your battery that's the problem, where you have an old battery or whatever, obviously you're going to want to, change up the battery because the battery is not charging. It's not charging, so it's putting out that message. So in any case, those are the things that could be causing this. All right, guys, so thanks for watching this video. And if this has helped you guys out in any way, please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, take care.